Good evening, adventurers! I've got the R spells today. There aren't a ton of them, so it's a bit shorter video than the last one for sure. Let's get right into it with Raise Dead. Raise Dead no longer refers to disease, as is perfectly normal. If you've been following along with the series, you already know plenty about that. Rare's telepathic bond now can't be cast on creatures if they don't speak a language, rather than if they have 2 or fewer intelligence. Their intelligence stat doesn't matter at all for that now. Ray of Enfeeblement now uses a Constitution saving throw instead of a ranged spell attack. On a successful saving throw, the target's next attack has disadvantage. On a failed saving throw, all of its d20 tests that use strength have disadvantage, and all of their attack rolls, regardless of what attribute they're using to make them, have their damage reduced by 1d8. It's no longer halved like it used to be, but now it affects things that use dexterity as well as spell attacks. Even if they cast something like Scorching Ray or Eldritch Blast, those now have minus a d8 as well. So, overall, a glow up. Ray of Sickness has had its Constitution saving throw removed. There was no good reason to have both an attack roll and a saving throw, so now if you hit a creature with it, they simply have the poison condition until the end of the caster's next turn. Regenerate works mostly the same, though now it doesn't say that if you hold a severed body part up to the stump, then it knits back on instantly. That's no longer a thing, apparently. It does still regenerate limbs in 2 minutes, so it's gonna be okay. Honestly, DMs, if your players still want to do that, I would say let them. Reincarnate is now Necromancy instead of Transmutation, and has had its species list revised for what kind of creature the target turns into for the new species in the Player's Handbook 2024, including, of course, things like Aasimar and Goliath. And the table no longer dictates which subrace, subspecies, or other player choices get to be made during, normally, character creation. So now, for example, if you roll Goliath, the target gets to choose whether it's a cloud, or hill, or stone, or the other kinds of giants. They get to make that choice on their own. Resistance has fundamentally changed, in that now it lasts for up to a full minute, requiring concentration like it did before, but now it doesn't end when its effect is used. That effect is the caster chooses a damage type, which can be any of the damage types except Psychic or Force, and whenever the target takes that damage, they get to reduce it by a d4, up to once per turn. Revivify is now Necromancy rather than Conjuration, but otherwise works exactly the same as it used to. And Rope Trick, last but not least, now causes the rope to stand perpendicular to the ground, regardless of its length. It is no longer capped at 60 feet, which means technically you could use this on a very, very long rope and then climb to an airship or a floating cloud giant castle. Whatever you want, really, as long as you've got a rope long enough for it. All the stuff with the extra dimensional space and whatnot still works exactly the same. And that is it for the R spells. Like I said, a little bit shorter one today, and that's totally okay. So that's all I wanted to say, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, the YouTube stuff, and happy adventuring out there in D&D.